Here's my hot take. Wrong Turn is essentially the East Coast answer to The Hills Have Eyes. And I know the Hills Have Eyes remake came out after Wrong Turn, but one thing I will give that remake is the fact that they explicitly explained why the Klan was acting like that. It wasn't just inbreeding, it was radiation sickness. I also don't really like The Hills Have Eyes, but one thing it has over Wrong Turn is the fact that it's not using the tired trope of these people are deformed, that means they are monsters. And that is a trope that Wrong Turn plays into. It's just like three dudes in the woods. Here's the thing. You can trace back the Klan. You can be like, all right, these guys are kids of these guys and blah, blah, blah. We don't know nothing about the Wrong Turn dudes. For all we know, they could have been living in the city together and then just decided to move into that cabin and just be a menace. That being said, though, one of the easiest ways to fix the Wrong Turn series is do a human but not sort of story. Like, don't get me wrong, deranged men in the woods are a very big fear. I would rather take a bear. But what's scarier? Your car breaking down and you find a group of people that are just like deranged? Or your car breaking down and you finding someone who you think is human who turns out not to be? Like, imagine this. Your car breaks down on a country road, but you notice a trail leading into the woods, hoping that maybe it might lead you to somebody, a ranger station, a full-blown park. As you're walking, you come across a cabin. You think civilization, maybe a phone. You go knock on the door and you're greeted by somebody that obviously have been living in the woods for a long time. But they're nice, they're courteous. They offer you to come in, they offer you food. They tell you about the ranger station up over there on the east, and they serve you a nice hot meal. However, you start to notice that they're slightly off. Not in a major way that would cause alarm and concern, but just the little things. The jerkiness of their movement, how big their eyes are, how sharp their nails are, how their teeth seem a bit more pointed. As you keep talking to them, you hear something underneath their voice. It's low, but like a growl, a hiss behind every word they say, as if them speaking the way you do is unnatural to them. You notice that the meat in the food they've given you doesn't taste like anything you've had before. The pictures on the walls of their cabin don't contain them, but you notice that some of them look like photos from wallets. You look over to the side and you notice an array of shoes. Shoes that are too small and too big for the person sitting in front of you. And this wave of unease washes over you and your friends, all of you simultaneously feeling the need to run, a primal instinct that is trying to preserve your life. And as you get up and you thank this welcoming stranger for the food and for the information, you notice that they've gone eerily still, no longer breathing or moving at all. And the next thing you know, they lash out, grabbing one of your friends and begin ripping them apart. You and your other cohorts race away. Eventually, you hear the person behind you, the way they're running, the beat of their hands and feet on the ground is foreign. Their limbs have contorted into shapes you have never seen before. You decide to climb up a tree in hope of not being spotted. And then you notice, across the tree line, in front of the western sunset, is the radio tower. And you realize this thing knew you were gonna run and wanted to send you in the opposite direction. Like, doesn't that sound a lot more terrifying than just dudes in the woods?